Hello, and welcome to this lesson, which will provide you with an introduction to change management. After you have finished this lesson, you will be able to, firstly, understand what change management means and why it is important. Secondly, become familiar with our approach to change management. And thirdly, understand the potential roles in a change management project. To begin with, I wanted to highlight that any change can be a very difficult journey. It is not a linear path from A to B, and what happens in a change process can be largely unpredictable. Some people will deny that change is needed, and other people will look at change as a response to failure. Human beings are often set in their ways and can be very resistant to change. Hence, change is risky and can be volatile, but it can produce some very successful results if managed carefully. In fact, change management is required throughout the entire change journey to navigate organizations through uncertainty and increase the odds of success. Change management projects can take many different forms, such as a company reorganization, post-merger integration, or a major cost reduction exercise. But what is needed is a formal definition of change management. Our definition captures 5 core elements. Change management is a set of actions designed to enable an enterprise to drive a major program of improvement, which delivers and sustains specific outcomes. Let's look at this definition in more detail. Firstly, a set of actions, because change requires deliberate interventions using specific principles, tools, techniques, skills, and processes. Secondly, to enable an organization, because change builds both hard capabilities, such as accountability, and soft capabilities, such as communication. Thirdly, a major program of improvement, because the change program will bring about a step change in the organization's performance. Fourthly, sustains, because change should alter people's behavior in a positive way over the long term. And lastly, change should achieve specific outcomes to focus people's efforts and reduce any risks in meeting the goals of the change program. Unfortunately, many change programs fail for various reasons. For example, an organization's leadership team may fail to speak with one voice about the vision for the change, or program goals may not have accountability within the leadership team. There may be insufficient focus, tracking, and communication of early wins to drive confidence in the change program, and commitment among the organization's leadership may wane, which can erode confidence and morale. The end result is that the realized value from such change programs will be far lower than what was expected at the outset. For a change effort to be successful, the leadership team must be aligned on the program vision, key initiatives, and target goals. Risks must be managed in a timely and effective manner, and the leadership team must remain committed until program completion. The end result should be sustained with measurable improvements that embedded real behavioral change in the organization. The program should also enhance people's confidence while minimizing disruption and pain. This will leave the organization more motivated, more engaged, and better able to drive change in the future. The slide shows a change framework that can help organizations achieve sustainable change. Firstly, governance and PMO, or the Program Management Office. This team oversees the change program, providing an essential support structure in terms of governance, roles, processes, and decision rights. Secondly, program execution groups related initiatives together and allocates target milestones and outcomes to ensure that the program delivers on expectations. Thirdly, change leadership holds the program sponsors or the organization's leadership team as accountable for the success of the change program. And fourthly, organizational engagement ensures that employees at every level understand the change and are sufficiently informed to handle it. Let's now consider each section of the framework in more detail. The Governance and PMO team provides the essential support structure to the change program. They are responsible for program roles, responsibilities, reporting lines, and the engagement model. The PMO team basically coordinates the program in a consistent manner and ensures timings and milestones are being met. Governance and PMO are essential in any significant change effort because they will enlist senior leaders to be enthusiastic catalysts for change, make accountability explicit, and provide correct and timely information at the steering committees. They ensure that people receive the right information, are having the right conversations, and are making the right decisions. The organization chart on the right of the slide shows where the governance and PMO team would usually sit within a change program structure, just under the executive sponsors and overall steering committee, but overseeing the different initiatives within the change program. You'll learn more about the steering committee later. The next stage of the change framework is the program execution. This part oversees the entire change program, monitoring all core change activity that is taking place to ensure that results are delivered. Each project or initiative in the program should have clear accountabilities and targets, like the templates shown on the slide, including any risks and interdependencies. This allows the PMO to track the initiative's progress and provide the right level of reporting detail to the steering committee when needed. The third stage of the change framework is change leadership. Any significant change program needs sponsorship and ownership by a senior leader or role model in the organization. This is to establish a program vision, to communicate the case for change, and to ensure that the goals of the program are clearly articulated. In addition, someone in authority needs to be available to make key decisions and to overcome obstacles along the change journey. Having effective leadership is also a powerful signal that the organization is visibly committed to change, which helps to achieve employee buy-in. The fourth and final stage of the change framework is organizational engagement. This is about ensuring individuals in an organization support the change program, and that the organization itself is equipped and confident to handle change. One way to determine the level of readiness, willingness, and ability of the organization to change is to conduct an employee survey. An example is shown on the slide. It's a great way to engage with stakeholders in the wider organization, including any skeptics, and gather insights on the degree of employee buy-in and support for the change. The survey can also highlight gaps and areas for improvement, such as communication and why change is ultimately needed. Change programs can be incredibly complex, and large change programs can often take 1 year or more to realize the desired value. The slide shows what a change management program could look like from the different work streams and initiatives to the different stages and timings. Scoping the change program out at this high level of detail helps to align on priorities and secure leadership buy-in, and is useful when communicating to the steering committee. Despite the scope of each change program being unique, each program typically follows the same phasing and team structure. From a phasing perspective, the team will firstly need to spend time scoping and diagnosing what needs to be done to deliver the required value. It will then need to plan and design the program, and finally, launch and implement the program. From a team structure perspective, the change program will need to secure leadership sponsors who will define the overall goals of the program. Next, the PMO will be set up to help establish a vision for the program. And finally, teams will be identified to lead each initiative. The initiative teams will develop and deliver successful outcomes. And because they serve as the front line for the change, they can help to energize the organization. There are two other groups who will also drive the change forward. The steering committee will meet frequently, usually every month, or more frequently for shorter programs. It is usually chaired by the leadership sponsor and attended by other senior stakeholders. The committee meets to review the progress of the change program, set targets, prioritize actions, and help resolve difficulties. Early in the change program, the steering committee will define a bold vision that animates the organization and set a winning tone, which means speaking with a single voice and stating a compelling case for change. The change program may also involve functional representatives from other parts of the organization, such as HR or finance. They may be needed to support certain initiative teams and the PMO, and are useful at winning hearts and minds at a functional level in the organization. Here is how a program structure could work in practice, with the steering committee overseeing the work of the PMO, functional representatives, and individual initiative teams. At a practical level, it is likely that the PMO and the initiative teams will spend the most time working together. Not only will they shape the change program itself, but they will collaborate to deliver successful change and value, and to navigate organizational politics. The slide shows an example of how such a collaboration could work in practice. To summarize this introductory lesson, we can define change management as a set of actions designed to enable an organization to drive a major program of improvement, which delivers and sustains specific outcomes. A change framework can help organizations achieve sustainable change. The governance and PMO team oversees the change program, providing an essential support structure. Program execution groups related initiatives together and allocates target milestones and outcomes. And change leadership holds the program sponsors accountable for the success of the change program. And finally, an engaged organization ensures that employees at every level understand the change and are sufficiently informed to handle it. Thank you for participating, and see you next time on another exciting business training lesson from Pontema.